What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Fortress of Solidudes. I am your host, Matt, and with me I have Brent. Say hi, Brent.
Hey, guys.
And Noah.
I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson, actually.
The Ginge, a master of disguise. And we got a great show for you guys today. A lot of news, and we're going to start, first of all, with the Golden Globes, but not in the way you might think. Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse has actually snagged its first major accolade with a Golden Globe win in the Best Animated Feature category. Wow. Have either of you seen that?
Negative. Oh, yeah. I didn't see the movie, but I saw the Golden Globes, and I watched it. It went up against Wreck-It Ralph, and I thought Wreck-It Ralph was going to actually have a good chance of winning that. And then whenever they reminded me that Into the Spider-Verse came out, I was like, oh, no chance for Wreck-It Ralph. Even though Wreck-It Ralph was great. One of Disney's best movies that they've done in probably the last 5 to 10 years. Yeah, it's not a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and the original Wreck-It Ralph was excellent. So I'm with you on that one. For Pixar to get toppled by anybody, it's going to be Marvel Studios. So that could be a sign of many more things to come for a studio that seemingly can do no wrong, critically or commercially.
Lion King's going to win the Golden Globe next year.
I really, I'm calling it now too. We're calling that shot right now. You heard it here first. So. Anyway, Noah, you didn't see it. You didn't see the Golden Globes. You didn't see Spider-Man. I don't know what you do. What do you do with your life, man?
I live in a cave.
It was probably the
designing
best,
suits.
It was the best hosting of all time of any award show ever.
No one there.
No, I'm kidding. It was awful. the hosting was terrible.
All right, moving along to what's probably going to be the biggest movie event of the year for a lot of us is Avengers Endgame. Apparently the footage that you're going to see, any leaked footage, anything that's coming out in trailers, is only going to show the first 20 minutes of the movie, not surprisingly, because after now 11 years build up and with Infinity War, why would you give us the ending, which is basically what every movie trailer does. So not surprised by it. It's obviously a smart move. Any thoughts on that? It seems like a pretty...
that's a smart marketing move.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're selling yourself a little short. Why are you going to make a 2-hour movie and only say, well, here's the first 10th of it?
Yeah.
Here's my theory.
How far should they take it then? Obviously we don't...
Always third base on the first date. It's like that
if you pay for the dinner, though. Anyway.
Matt, this is 2019. Women can buy stuff, too.
They work now?
Anyway, so my theory is that they're going to drop another trailer after Captain Marvel because I think that the next Avengers Endgame trailer is going to feature her in it. And they want to give people time. This stool is literally collapsing under the pressure of my hot takes. Anyway, sorry. Stool's falling apart. So yeah, I think too, though, they're going to have to show some fight scenes. The next trailer is going to have to feature some kind of fighting.
Something to grab you. Yeah, because Infinity War was really the thing that got all of our blood boiling was when the Battle of Wakanda and when we got to see them try to, anything where it was... Yeah.
When they started slamming and then they all just charged in.
Yeah. It was like Lord of the Rings epic type thing. Like you think Return of the King charging the fields.
We'll get something along those lines. There's going to have to be action scenes, and I doubt there's going to be any major fight scenes within the first 20 minutes of the movie. So they're going to have to show us some more of the movie.
Right. I would say probably the first half. They could probably go a good hour without a fight scene.
I don't know. I disagree. I think if you look at their storytelling model from previous Marvel films, this story started with Iron Man 1, and it's basically been, Avengers 1. We'll start there with Age of Ultron and now Infinity War, and this almost being a sequel, like a direct sequel they're going to pick up right after.
True, which usually there's, been 2-3 years in between the Avengers films?
Yeah, so, we saw a fight scene in the very first 20 minutes of Infinity War with them on Titan. Is that where they were right now?
Yeah.
And they were in
you could even argue the spaceship when Thanos first shows up, and,
that wasn't really a fight scene.
Well, the Hulk gets his ass kicked. Yeah.
So that was a sparring match.
So at least they have, they'll have their own... They'll be able to open up wherever they want to open up. It can be literally... Yeah. Now, with the way we saw Infinity War end, there probably won't be much fighting because everyone's dead, but...
Spoiler alert.
I sort of find it hard to believe that it was only the first 20 minutes, though, because the trailer showed Scott Lang, and you're telling me that they're going to explain how he got out of the quantum realm in the first 20 minutes of Endgame? There's no way.
That's fair.
So I don't know.
They're lying.
Yeah, that's what I think.
The Russo brothers are good for that. They told us Endgame wasn't the
anything they do, just take the exact opposite, and that is your truth right there. So, yeah, this movie should be 3 hours long, I think, to do justice. Will it? I'm thinking more like 2 hours 40.
Well, according to Fern, if Zack Snyder was directing it, it would be at least 6 hours long.
The director's cut.
Because he can't tell a story in under 3 hours.
No. And he did brilliant with The Watchmen, though. Just want to say that.
One
director's
time,
cut was
it was
sick.
one time.
Some stories need to be long.
It's like he had one
Exactly.
hot girlfriend one time, and everybody thinks he deserves one. No, I disagree.
All right, we're going to reel this back in here for Captain Marvel. So we've had, I think, 3 trailers, 3 like official trailers, and it's gotten a very divisive response.
No, it hasn't.
Just
because Fern tells you that it's cardboard does not mean that it's gotten any divisive response.
And according to our YouTube comment section, so you take that with it's the YouTube comment section. Yeah, some people are looking at this and they're saying these one-liners are terrible. You know, her little eyebrow raise and stuff, and she's coming across as, quote, cardboard. And I'll be the first to defend Brie Larson. I was just telling you guys before. If you haven't seen Room, you need to see that movie, first of all. And she is anything but cardboard in that. An excellent film, a very powerful, dramatic performance. And my wife and I watched it, and we were left floored. She did a brilliant job. So when I heard that she was being cast as Captain Marvel, I was like, this is great. A relative unknown just from the theatrical response I got at the end of Infinity War. Because when you saw that beeper scene, I remember I went with you and I went with Fern. And when the thing happened, Nick Fury drops it, he disappears, and you see the beeper and you see Captain Marvel's logo, and I was like, yes! Literally the only one in the theater that did. And I heard people saying, like, what was that? They felt let down by that end credit scene. So, like, nobody really knew who Captain Marvel was. So it's a tough thing to make this a marketable movie, even though you have Endgame coming. I mean, Captain Marvel, we know who she is, but the greater audience obviously doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
So how do you draw people in? It is with one-liners. You know what I mean? It's with these little jokes that you try to get your casual fans into this film. And I don't know. What are your thoughts, man?
They're banking on her being Marvel's Wonder Woman. Is what they're banking on.
Yeah.
Black Panther got all the hype that it got because, it brought in another sector of fans that weren't, as invested as they were before. Whenever you have a superhero that you can relate to, you're obviously gonna have skin in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that having a female take the lead in the next phase, I think they're banking on that to generate its success.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I don't think that me and Fern have been arguing about it for a while, and Noah agrees. I don't think that her acting is any more or less cardboard than Chris Evans in the first Captain America movie. I think that Captain America's trailer was better, but that's because it had more action scenes in it.
Yeah.
All they showed you in the Brie Larson trailer was the bus fight scene and her flying around a little bit, and then the rest of the trailer was cheesy one-liners.
So every trailer has to have that old woman getting the shit punched out of her.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I look for in any movie.
That's the sign of
Elderly
the movie, I would say.
Elderly
That is a
abuse,
sign.
yeah. It's
Geriatric
relatable.
abuse is the thing now.
It's like my childhood all over again. Going to grandma's house and punching her. No, I hope that they really play on the 90s setting. I think the Blockbuster was a cool little throw-in, but there's got to be more than that involved.
Oh, there will.
Like, he drops the grunge. You look good in grunge. It's like, well, can we get a Pearl Jam Soundgarden soundtrack with that or something?
Yeah, I'd love to hear them on the soundtrack. I think that'd be pretty cool, but there's...
All right, James Gunn's not directing this. The soundtrack isn't going to be memorable.
Dookie. So yeah, I'm excited for the movie, but at the same time, there's a strong ensemble cast like every Marvel film. Like every Marvel film has more than one actor in it, so you don't have to rely on that one actress or actor to carry the entire film. Samuel L. Jackson's de-aging looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So does Coulson's. So
Yeah.
they've done a lot of good work on this movie before we've even seen it. Like, they've invested a lot into this because Phase 4 is such a big deal for them. DC is not relevant yet, but they're inching.
They're climbing. And I think Marvel knows that
Yeah,
DC is finally starting to get it together and figure themselves out. Whether it's starting with like the Titans or going back to your animated and then
they understand the game a little better. And
Yeah.
Marvel made the game, but DC's figuring out how to play it. And I think Marvel now has to start investing in these new characters that are unknown.
Yeah.
Rather than having their their usual lit lineup with Captain America and Spider-Man and the Hulk. Now they're gonna have to enlist the Black Panthers and the Captain Marvels.
Yeah, just to bounce off that, I was gonna agree with that too. And I think the unfortunate thing will be if the next phase doesn't work out. I think that Brie Larson is gonna catch a lot of the blame for that because the main focal point of the first 10 years has been Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark, and you could not have nailed a role more perfectly than he has. So I think if they focus the entire next phase on her, and it even if it's not her fault, even if her acting is phenomenal, but Marvel stumbles in their next phase, they release a bad movie or two, or they pick a bad storyline or two, I think that she's going to catch the flack from that, and that's going to be really unfortunate for her because I do think she is a good actress.
I do.
I agree. Yeah, I think if anything, you're right. She's set up to be the scapegoat.
Well,
if
based
this
on
turns
the work,
out anything less than spectacular, because a lot of the comments are saying that this could be their first misfire. I would say Dark World is probably their first kind of. I enjoy the movie personally, but if you look purely off the Rotten Tomatoes score, and again, you have to take that. We all know how that can work. But I think that got like a 67%, which I could be wrong, but I think that was probably the lowest score of the films. I could be wrong. But they're saying this could be like that territory where it could possibly get a rotten score. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that that's the argument that I've been making to Fern is that the second Thor movie wasn't great because Marvel hadn't figured the character out. Chris Hemsworth hadn't figured the character out. And
I would agree.
That Brie Larson, it's really unfortunate that she's getting this movie and then Endgame. So she has to figure it out immediately. Because if this comes out and the fans, nitpick it and here's what was wrong with it, here's what needs to be fixed next time, it's going to be the same way in Endgame because she literally has filmed them back to back. So she's not going to have time to correct any of her, mistakes from this one for Endgame. So we might not get to see the best, Captain Marvel, Brie Larson until after Endgame.
After Endgame. So you think that critical reception for Captain Marvel will impact critical reception for Endgame?
Yeah.
It could, but I think we overlook one major fact in Marvel's history. They royally fucked up the Hulk. When they put Ed Norton in as Bruce
I actually
Banner,
like that movie.
I rewatched the movie, and I agree. I didn't think it was really that bad.
But they had to recast him. I mean, and maybe you can say it's because Ed Norton's hard to work with, but they retcon basically, and they're one of their largest and most titular characters. Now they never made a sequel in this universe, but this movie was made in this universe, and this was at the infancy.
Well, that's the second time they did that. They did that with War Machine.
Yeah, that's true with Rhodey, but Rhodey wasn't a character they were making movies about.
Yeah,
right.
It was a guy they expected to paralyze. So I think Marvel has the breathing room to fuck up Captain Marvel and still have her play a big role. They're not going to recast her, but Brie Larson's acting career to this point probably better than Jason Momoa's before Aquaman, and all he did in Aquaman was the same shit he's always done. And
Better than Mark Ruffalo.
It's Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa, just like Bruce Willis is Bruce Willis. If you saw the roast of it, that was one of the things they keyed on. How do you be the same person in all these movies and just make millions of dollars? But it works. It sells. Bruce Willis is Bruce Willis in every movie.
Podcast every weekend. Yep. Because personality sells.
You want to talk about cardboard? Look no further than here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that.
I can't wait. Next weekend, I'm going to get a Fernando cardboard cutout, and I'm going to set it there to host, and we're just going to look at it for 20 minutes.
Probably be our highest watched episode yet.
Yep.
Damn.
Shots fired.
48
We still love you, Fern. I see you back there, man. All right, so now that kind of concludes some of the main news. We want to get this rolling along because we got a lot of other stuff coming up for you today. It's our Minority Report. So these are some like rapid fire thoughts, news from around obviously the pop culture medium. And we're going to start off with the new Stargirl casting. Luke Wilson, I believe he's playing Stripes. Is that right? Stripes? Yeah. He was I didn't know much about Stargirl, so of course, doing my research, found out that Stripes is basically like this robot suit kind of thing. And apparently he was the adult sidekick to the Star-Spangled Kid. Is that how it works?
Sounds like a messed up family.
It does really sound messed up. But one of the things that stuck out for me was like, what is this taking place like in the 40s, 50s? Because I was like reading about Star-Spangled Kid and Stripesy, which obviously is very patriotic, and the first comic was like released in the 40s, which coincidentally World War II was going on. What do you know? And they're fighting Nazis. So then I'm like, is that Captain America all over again? You know, like in a sense. But I don't know what to think about this show, honestly. I'll watch it. It looks cool. I mean, the concept seems cool. I haven't seen any actual footage from it. I don't think anybody has. But do you guys have any thoughts on Stargirl? Because I personally knew nothing about her. I just did the research this morning, and that's kind of what I gleaned from it. Like, Luke Wilson, good actor, old school, you know.
I'm not afraid of watching something that's new to me, and I think if we're going to do it, a lot of times original characters are fun to learn about and not have like a preconceived notion about. So with this show being on the DC Universe streaming platform, I'm probably going to watch it. I'm subscribed. It's something I like to watch as far as Titans and all the access it gives you to anything else DC's done, so why not?
That was me with Doom Patrol. I was like, who's Doom Patrol? I looked it up. This sounds cool.
Yep.
Yeah, what about you, Brent? Do you know much about Stargirl? Or?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I think that's the vast majority of this audience. So we're going to move it right along. Did you guys see the Elseworlds crossover? I know you did. You saw it, right, Brent?
No.
Didn't see it. All right,
I'm not a giant fan of DC's.
He was spared.
Yeah, CW, I'm not a huge fan either, but I watched it. We had to watch it for an episode, and I was pleasantly surprised. I liked it. And if you would have watched it, you would have seen, or you probably already heard, Ruby Rose played Batwoman.
I was aware of that.
And I think she did great.
I know that they have a controversy because her character is going to be a lesbian and everything. And they're upset.
What?
They're upset about that, even though...
Sir, we are on YouTube. Don't demonetize us.
It's the L word.
In the
L word,
in the comic books, the character is gay in the comics as well. Isn't that the case?
I believe so. Yes. So, we got the heads up from Fern.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why the outrage there. You know, it's not like they casted a male to play Batwoman.
Yeah.
So that would be an issue.
Yeah. Wouldn't put it past them. But I thought she did a great job with I thought she did a good job. So it remains to be seen if she's strong enough to carry more than 15 minutes of screen time on her own.
This is real cardboard. This is like authentic cardboard. That's what Ruby Rose is.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think you see more of the look of her, like the tattoo. You're like, oh, you know, she's
exactly
got the look. So is it more image than anything else you're saying here?
That's all it is.
I don't like whenever they put the ass before the horse. And I think that's literally... all these DC streaming TV shows is the ass and the cart coming before the horse, because you have all these characters that are linked to Batman and no Batman. All these characters that are linked to Superman and no Superman. I'm not invested in these characters because Robin didn't just show up one day and I was like, damn, Robin's super cool. Robin showed up as Batman's sidekick. And then I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And then he grew into his own character. So
yeah, like they would have just started as the Boy Wonder, this acrobat.
Right.
He very well may have had some success, but that link to Batman, just Robin's badass.
Yeah,
because he's Batman's protege.
They're telling me just a bunch of side stories.
Right.
And I don't.
We all know what we really want, and that's Batman.
It's kind of like if you had a best friend and they moved away, but their cousin's family bought the house, and you had to replace them with their cousin. He's not the same dude.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much. We might hang out if I needed a third guy for a pickup game or something, but other than that, no.
Yeah. And George Clooney, just stay at home. We don't want you for this, Batman. We don't want you for that. But speaking of Batman, Matt Reeves, the Batman, is officially a go.
For the fourth time.
For the fourth time.
Is Ben Affleck in it?
We don't know yet. Still unsure. So I don't know if this dude's in rehab or what's going on with him, but I don't have anything else to say except that we know it's officially going to happen, and I would imagine it's going to have to maintain continuity with the Justice League and Dawn of Justice in some regard. I mean, can you totally retcon this and still be a part of the DC?
Yeah, no, I mean they only referenced Justice League once in Aquaman.
I think that was the main staple, right? Was to keep
they barely even talked about it.
For sure did that on purpose.
Yeah. So look, I think they have the Joker film coming up with Joaquin Phoenix. I think that's something that's really exciting because it's a take that we didn't really get from Leto in the Suicide Squad film.
Stylistically, I think that it's going to make for a much cooler Joker.
Yeah, more realistic.
Yeah.
What we loved about all the Nolan films was the depth and reality. This could be Law and Order SVU, but instead it's Batman. Now, and Batman wasn't this daunting 280-pound peck monster with a suit that didn't really fit him.
Yeah.
It was realistic enough, and it was practical enough. Then you had the Joker, Heath Ledger, who arguably we've still tried to figure out where his background was in that continuity. Is he a soldier from Iraq who has PTSD? Because that's one of the largest fan theories I've heard on Heath Ledger's Joker, and it fits. It makes sense in 100 different ways. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker could make sense in 100 different ways, and we can get a lot out of it. My problem with this Matt Reeves film is that this script's been touched so many times now. How many times has it been altered? How many times has it been changed from the original concept and theory? So, I don't know. I'm not excited about this film. Batman's a character we've seen 8,000 times. We saw a lot of success with all these new original characters that they haven't touched yet. Look at Captain Marvel. How much hype and marketing is going into a film that in a character we've never seen on film before?
Yeah.
Batman, Shazam. They haven't even talked about that film. I mean,
yeah,
really
that's interesting. You really haven't.
So,
and I have a lot of high hopes for that one. I think it's
and that's one of the main characters in Justice League.
Yeah,
you have that's the beauty of Justice League. They don't have to have the continuity. They can have a Justice League film, kind of like Justice League Unlimited, where there's a bunch of characters we don't really know that look great. I don't know why we don't have that angle on it, rather than it has to be these characters done the right way. There's too much scrutiny on the film before it's even made.
Yeah.
And this Batman film is a prime example of that. There's going to be so much scrutiny on this before it's even made.
As soon as you say Batman, yeah.
You throw Ben Affleck into it, it's ruined already because everyone's going to have an expectation of something. Now, if it's Ben Affleck like pre-08, then I'm okay with it. But anything after that, let me reverse that. If it's pre-08 Affleck, I'm not probably going to like it. But if it's like Gone Girl Affleck...
You didn't like Argo?
Well, after 08. I like after 08.
Mallrats?
Yeah.
No.
Come on, man. Reindeer Games.
He's good, but he's an asshole. That's not Batman.
Damn.
Yeah. I thought he did a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought he was okay as Batman. I have the same problem with the Joker movie that I had with Venom. Is, you don't give me the villain without the superhero.
That's fair.
The villains are cool, but I'm not gonna be. Am I supposed to be invested in the Joker? Am I rooting for the Joker in this movie, or am I rooting for who am I rooting for? NYPD?
Well, this is a question.
Who's the hero in the movie?
Is it possible to have a standalone villain movie?
Yes.
With just having,
Name me one good standalone villain movie, not anti-hero. Standalone.
Yeah, like
villain
Deadpool
movie.
would be the
Do you
anti-hero.
have any?
None.
I think.
And there's a reason.
Well, no, I think.
But that can
the
exist
Joker
on
is
its
probably
own.
the most relevant character in the DC universe. He's probably one of the most relatable because
I'd say he's the most iconic villain.
He's kind of an anti-hero.
Easily, yeah,
across all comic books.
And you're right. His juxtaposition to Batman makes him so like.
They are two sides to the same coin.
Exactly. So, but that's why I think they should just make a movie based on one of the great Batman graphic novels. They've got The Killing Joke. They've got Long Halloween, which they scrapped for this Matt Reeves script. There's a bunch of Hush. But if you want a Joker-based Batman story, they're there. Just make one.
The best one would be...
Stop trying to rewrite, or reinvent the wheel.
The material's there for you.
Yeah.
Like we've had this discussion before. The material's already there. It's worked. It's been time-proven. Just recreate it on film.
Yeah.
Don't have to change anything. You don't even have to change the
satisfy
dialogue. You
so
can
many
literally,
fans.
little tweaks here and there. Just keep it the same. I agree with you. Just
That's my theory.
the wheel works. Keep it that way.
But I agree with Brent though that maybe there isn't a villain-based or villain-centric film. But
Is it possible? You think?
I'm curious to see how they do with it.
Because I guess could you have a superhero film without a villain though? Also, you couldn't. You would have to have both of them. You know what I mean? You can't just have a day in the life of the Joker.
A superhero movie where the superhero faces conflict. There doesn't necessarily need to be a big bad.
A costumed villain trying to take over the world type of thing. Yeah, I'd go with that. So, okay, we'll move on from that. Something I was excited for, but I honestly didn't get a chance to research this. The He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
He-Man!
They're getting the Iron Man writers for the script rewrite, which is Art Markham and Matt Holloway. I had to look at that. Yeah, that's why I was looking at my phone the whole time. But He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, sign me up. I watched that as a kid. She-Ra, watched it as a kid growing up.
If they cast anyone other than Chris Hemsworth to play He-Man, they are missing out big time.
He better have a goddamn bowl cut.
He better have that bowl cut. Yeah, he better have that bowl cut, man. That's it.
I'm walking out.
Are you guys excited for this?
Is Jim Carrey going to play Skeletor?
You better. That would be perfect.
And then last but not least, we have Loki, which is going to be streaming on Disney Plus, which I think releases, November, December of this year? Very in the latter stages of this year. It's going to be him as a young boy, and Tom Hiddleston is narrating it.
Okay.
So...
Is this animated?
That I don't know. Does anybody? Fern, do you know? So it's live action. Okay, we got thumbs up there. So it's a live action, young Loki, narrated by Tom Hiddleston. So I'm trying to think what comes to mind here.
Harry Potter.
Great Expectations.
Like the steps.
Yeah.
Like that's Loki while Thor's out there with his hammer just fucking shit up, having parties. Yeah. That's what I think should happen.
And there I was, a young boy.
Oh, he's writing in his journal, I'm going to get this asshole back in Avengers 2. No.
Got him. I don't really have anything to say. It's so far out still. I'm actually looking more forward to The Mandalorian, honestly, Jon Favreau and stuff. Yeah. Just a limited series run. Star Wars needs something good going for it now, because The Last Jedi just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but now I'm more excited for The Mandalorian personally, and I think that's going to be on that service. So Loki, like I said, we're all going to watch it. We're going to entertain it.
Loki's a cool character in the Marvel universe. He's probably one of everybody's, but they're trying too hard to recreate the Joker. Had Tom Hiddleston been cast as the Joker,
that might,
that'd have been cool. But I don't know that.
There's still time. We don't actually have a DCEU Joker.
And I don't know. I think
we're going to get the guy from Gotham to do it. Watch.
He's good though. Cameron Monaghan. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
See, I like him. I think he does a better Joker than Leto did. So
yeah, it's not too hard. But.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, I think Loki's a cool character. They're going to buy into individual characters now, but that's where DC's strength's been in the last few films, is buying into an individual character. And with Black Panther, we saw you can build a universe off of that. You can't really do that with Loki, but maybe they'll give us a little background on where's Thor from.
Asgard?
Asgard.
Is the place
he was from Asgard. That place
doesn't exist anymore.
Now he's in Valhalla. Oh wait, Thor's still alive. That's his dad. Sorry.
Somewhere in Nebraska. I don't know where he's at. Anyway. So that about wraps up everything we got for our Minority Report. If we missed anything, please let us know in the comments, and we'll get to how you can reach us later. We are going to move on to what you watching. So what you watching? I'm going to start down here with Noah, the Ginge, and we're going to work our way down. Basically, any music you've been listening to, books you've been reading, movies, shows you've been watching. So Noah.
The Art of War? No. No.
I was like, we just talked about that.
No, right now it's been a lot of football, playoff football.
Yeah, that's been heavy on my mind. Yeah.
So that's basically what I've been watching.
A lot of Sports Center, huh?
Haven't read much lately. They just dropped the Green Lantern series on the DC Universe streaming network.
Oh, okay.
And I hadn't watched its original run, so I'm kind of excited to watch that. I think Green Lantern's my favorite character, so to see that universe be built, pretty cool.
Nice.
We're just binge watching Friends.
I watched Friends yesterday
for the 50th time.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it still holds up.
Yeah,
it does.
Friends still holds up.
It does. It does. When you have a great cast, pretty good writing. I mean, they can,
I watched the episode last night where Ross laminates his top 5 like celebrity crushes, and she shows up at a coffee shop and she's like,
he's like, well, this isn't the final list.
You're an alternate.
She said it's laminated.
I just remember
you want to make a lot of money. You do a 10-episode mini-series reboot and bring back the original cast of Friends. I don't know how much money you want to make, but it'll make it.
Just call it like Friendlier. I don't know.
It's just called Friends.
Friends.
Still Friends.
Still
no
Friends.
Fuller House treatment there. I got that. So I watched Bandersnatch, that Choose Your Own Adventure movie that Black Mirror put out. Yeah, from the Choose Your Own Adventure publishers.
Yeah.
And perhaps rightly so, because I read those books growing up a lot too.
I had a magazine called Bandersnatch.
I would always cheat
my
though.
Mattress in high school.
I would have sucked in any of those roles because I tried to talk over that comment. I couldn't.
Well, I was actually in a band, and they said you got to pick Bandersnatch.
Waka waka waka.
Can somebody just hit the cymbals and drum?
Where's Questlove when you need him? You gotta just look there. So I watched it, and my wife and I took turns like picking the choices. I picked the first one, she picked the second one, and we didn't have any discussions. We just go with how you would do it within the movie. And it was
Frosted Flakes.
I went with the Frosties.
You have to.
I went with the Frosties. Spoiler alert, if you don't pick the Frosties, the movie ends right away, so pick Frosties.
Yep. Plane crashes into the house and they all die.
And
I went through and picked the most fucked up choices that
so you killed the dad, you did all that stuff.
I wanted him to have the worst life possible, that way I could feel better about myself.
What did you think of it?
I mean, sense, though.
It was alright.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was alright. I'm more excited for the actual next season of Black Mirror. But I thought it was a cool little experiment. It was something worth trying, and I think it worked. It was just really cool to have that concept. And Once you choose, there's no rewinding. You have to see it the whole way through, and then you have to start the movie, the entire, you have to start over from the very beginning. There is no rewinding and being like, oh, I didn't like that choice, which, like I was going to my original comment at the beginning was, I sucked at those books because I always died at like the second choice. So I'd be like, fuck this, and I just go back and pick another one.
Isn't it an episode? Because if you watch it from start to finish, even if you take the longest route,
with those
it's
loops,
still only like a half hour.
Oh man, mine was like an hour and 15 minutes.
That's because you kept having to go back and redo shit.
That's because I was a good human being. That's
I killed them all.
I killed them all.
As soon as the choice came up to chop him up,
I say check it out.
Think about it.
I would say check it out if nothing more than the novelty of it. Just give it a run through. Try it once.
Really cool concept.
I mean, I would just say if you don't like Black Mirror, I would just give it a shot and let it go because there's some really cool things. I don't want to get too into it.
So you guys picked Band?
Yeah. I picked Band over Snatch because I already had it. Don't pick what you already have, my friend. So other than that, I got the new Doomsday Clock edition, the February 2019. Really cool stuff in there, but to talk about it would take forever. But it's a really good series. I think it's ending up this July. I believe there's 3 more issues left to come out, and we're getting to the point now where Superman and Dr. Manhattan are actually.
I'm gonna buy that whenever they release it as a graphic novel.
It's totally worth it. The writing is not trying to be Alan Moore. It doesn't try to emulate the Watchmen, but it is a very good successor to the Watchmen, if that makes sense. Cool. The style, the writing, nothing really seems too ridiculous. There's a new Rorschach in there, and it does justice to the original one because you obviously can't touch those characters. They're timeless. And it's great, and it's Jeff Johns, so what do you expect? Yeah. You know, if anybody was going to do it, he would be one to do it. Yeah, and he is more than capable of filling Alan Moore's shoes in this regard, so I definitely pick it up. You won't be disappointed in it, and I just can't wait to see what happens for that final issue. You know what I mean? It's building that anticipation now, and it's just, it's incredible.
That's cool, though.
So that's really all that I have. Anything else you guys want to add? Oh, and I've been listening to Travis Scott's Astro World. I really liked it. I was talking to you about that.
Yeah, not even close.
He's got
Logic, top 5.
All time.
I hate you guys. Yes, so go see. You'll see that video later on. That you guys can just roast me in the comments section because I definitely have it coming. So, all right. So that's gonna wrap it up for this segment. But I hope you guys stick around because we have a main topic of the day. And if you want to know what it is, you're just gonna have to listen to the next episode. So, as for some contact information, please feel free to email us fortressofsolidudes17@gmail.com.
Why is it 17?
Reach us on Instagram and Twitter. It's a lucky number, dog. I don't know.
16 other fortresses.
There were 16 other ones already taken.
They're not as solid as us, though.
So, Fortress of Solidudes, we are on Instagram and Twitter, and that's going to be Fort, F-O-R-T, _Solidudes, S-O-L-I-D-U-D-E-S. Right back there, if you need it. Fortress of Solidudes Podcast on Facebook, and it is simply that title page, Fortress of Solidudes Podcast. So, as always, if you're watching this, you're on YouTube, so please follow, subscribe, comment, hit that little bell button right there so you can get notifications every time we drop a new episode for you. And on behalf of Noah, Brent, and Matt, thanks guys for being here. We wish you all the best. See you next time.
Gang, gang.